Let's see. We're waiting for James. We're waiting for James. He's probably running with an iPhone. I'm going to ask him that. I'm going to put him on the spot. So we're waiting. Okay, we're connecting now.
You got me?
Hey, my man.
There we go. All right, there we go. All right.
Are you Android or iPhone?
I'm iPhone, yeah.
Oh, that's probably why you're having some difficulties. I get it. I get it.
You team Android or what?
Yeah, team Android all day, baby.
Yeah, not me, but all right.
So first things first, do you have a barber? First of all, are you struggling like a lot of the men out there? How are you doing?
So at the combine, I was hooked up with a barber. One of my buddies plays receiver for the Bucks, and he hooked me up with a nice little fade haircut. So I'll probably go back to him if I can, but with everything being shut down, I mean, at the moment, I'm a little bit, as you can tell, I'm in need of one.
I hear you. You're not looking so bad, so you all right for now. But I'll give you maybe a month.
I appreciate that.
We're gonna jump back into it. So James, how are you doing, man? Like, especially with how things are going right now across the globe, man. How are you dealing with this right now?
Man, it's weird. It's really weird. It's just a deal where, a lot of the visits you had, actually every visit you had was canceled. I had a couple of visits where teams were going to work me out. I was going to go out to a couple teams, and those have since been canceled, and it's all shifted to, FaceTime interviews or like Zoom interviews and stuff like that. So it's pretty crazy. In terms of like working out, a lot of facilities are shut down. Even like parks are being shut down now. So you got to kind of just do things, on your own in your house, kind of find creative ways to get stuff done.
See, and it forces you to be creative right now, because usually if you have a regimen, you have structure, show up at the building at this time. So now you're all on your own. So what are you doing to prepare? What kind of exercises are you doing? What kind of drills are you doing? Stay sharp.
No, I mean, you said it. It's a deal where I think that people who are in this position now have two choices. Can either kind of coast and rest, or they can kind of find ways to get things in. So for me, it's all about just, being where I want to become the next measurable, which is training camp. And to be able to do that, there's no weight room, so I'm doing, like push-ups, dips, finding different things around the house to curl. I'm doing like squats, lunges, doing long-distance runs, striders. There's some bands, doing band work. So there's a lot of different things you can do. The nice thing about, quarterbacks is, for the most part, you can do a lot of work in a small amount of space. So just working kind of footwork in front of the house and the road, it doesn't require too much of a field. You can do it in a very, minute space, which is nice.
I get it. So now, season's over. You had the East-West Shrine game, and that's like the last time you played ball. So do you feel like if you don't keep up with staying on top of things, that you'll I don't want to say your skills will diminish, but like you're not gonna stay as sharp? So is that how you're feeling right now?
So for me, it's a deal where mental reps come really in handy, and because you're not able to do as much exercise, it's a great time to do like football IQ. So something that I have is I have all 22 version of all the NFL games last year. And I've just been going through and watching games and kind of trying to pick up things, different offenses and stuff like that to stay sharp. And then at the same time, you can also, practice game reps when you do the drops, right? You can think, okay, this is a route I'm going to be throwing here with this drop. This is the footwork I got. So there's ways to stay in it without actually, doing it, but I am jumping at the bit, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for the season to start, and I hope it's not pushed back or anything like that.
So everybody has like nicknames, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm sure you got nicknames, and the biggest one's probably Captain Morgan. Is that
yes, sir?
The nickname your boys gave you? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's my biggest one. I got J Money and Captain Morgan are my two biggest ones.
Wait a minute, J Money.
Yep.
J Money tells me that you're always on the money.
I mean, I'd have to agree with that one.
Okay, so this is gonna be a perfect segue. So, what part of your game is money, where you're like, nobody can touch me on this? This is what I do. This is what is going to give me success at the next level. What are two parts of your game that is J Money style?
Sure. So I think the first part is just my preparation that I put in, week in and week out. I work really hard, and I always like to be ready. I try to be like Peyton Manning in that respect. I really feel confident when I come in the game prepared. And the other part is just my arm strength. I know that y'all got a pretty good quarterback with a huge arm there in Buffalo, and I feel pretty confident in my arm too. I mean, I really think I can rip it across the field. I love sitting back in the pocket and being able to dice things up. That's my forte, and it lets me like throw in windows that are pretty small, or I can anticipate balls because I know that I'm going to get it there and stuff like that. So that's probably my biggest assets.
Because I'm going to concur with that, because I was watching some film on my man James Captain Morgan.
Yes, sir.
And the two things that that stood out for me, you ain't no 4.40. I'll tell you, I know that.
That's right.
But you have mobility in the pocket. I see that you shimmying in, you stepping up in the pocket, and you jump stepping. I like that about your game, and I feel like that's going to it's going to translate. Is that something you purposely work on?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's something I work on all the time, and I think that you see so much times in the NFL today where quarterbacks are moving in different positions and making throws with different arm slots. I mean, it's really a part of the game, and you have to practice it. So that's something where I get like 2 equipment managers after every single practice and work just 10 minutes on game speed reps, being able to move quickly, evade some pretty high-caliber edge-lever defenders now in the NFL. That's definitely something I'm working on all the time.
And I hear that, man. So you came out of high school, nice player. I'll give it to you. And Bowling Green make sure I want to get this right. So spent a couple years at Bowling Green. It didn't work out. Then to FIU. What from freshman year to your season end with FIU? What happened in Bowling Green that brought you to FIU?
Sure. So, yeah, I mean, you said it. When I came out of high school, I got recruited by a lot of MAC teams. I kind of had a chip on my shoulder because I really felt like I deserved Power 5. But as is with a lot of players, that's not how it worked out. And the path I took was far from what I expected, but ended up working really well for me. So I did go to Bowling Green. That was with Dino Babers. He was the head coach there. He's current head coach at Syracuse. And Sean Lewis, he's the current head coach at Kent State. So my first year, I redshirted, and we won the MAC. We had a quarterback, Matt Johnson, who absolutely killed it that year, and it was great to be able to learn from him and kind of see how the offense worked with those coaches and with him and everybody. So it was kind of bittersweet after that because then obviously they got the job at Syracuse, and you're happy for them, but you also want to play in their offense. So then we got a new staff who came in, Mike Jinks from Texas Tech, and they were good coaches. It just kind of wasn't the best fit for me. I didn't really feel like it was the situation that was going to get me to the NFL. And so that's why I decided to transfer. And when I went somewhere, I was looking for a pro-style offense, real experienced coaches and good family atmosphere and a good culture. And that's what FIU really proved to me. And I really enjoyed it the last 2 years.
Good for you, man, because it's not easy. From when you transfer, there's such a big unknown, right?
Yes, sir.
Is the guy that recruited me, or if I'm going to where, is he going to remain head coach? What kind of scheme? There's so much variables. And in the NFL, once you get there, there's going to be lots of variables. So you have been in contact with certain teams. So has Buffalo been one of the teams that has shown interest?
Yes. So I talked to them. I had an interview with them at Combine for sure, and then East West I don't remember, but then recently on FaceTime too. I have a good connection there with Coach Dorsey. He's the FIU quarterback assistant 2 years ago. Yeah, and he's a great dude, man. I really, really enjoy him, and he'd be a pleasure to work with if the opportunity presents itself. But I have been in contact with them, yes.
Good. So now you have an agent. Do you have an agent right now?
Yes, I do. Chris Martin.
Chris Martin. Okay, so you're hearing rumblings, and the rumblings that I'm hearing is that Mr. James Cap Morgan is climbing up. People are talking about James Morgan. So what is the projection that your agent is telling you, and where do you feel you should be taken?
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of different things, and I've heard anywhere from like day 2 to later rounds. And for me, I mean, I'm excited. I think for me, I'm just trying to control everything I can control, and so far that's been East-West Combine. We filmed the pro day and everything like that. And so the speculation as to what round, I mean, I'm not really sure. But honestly, man, wherever I get a chance, whatever round it may be, I'm just looking to go contribute to a team and find them and help find ways to win games for them. And I really think I can do that really good. And whoever pulls the trigger on me is getting a really good prospect who's going to really help the team.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but sure. I'm going to give you a light question first. So you're from the Green Bay, Wisconsin area, is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
Okay. A little bit of geography here, sir. Are you ready for this? So I myself am from Canada. So Green Bay is across from a city in Canada. Where is it across from?
I couldn't tell you that, but I will say that Bowling Green was about an hour away from the Canadian border. So I was actually closer in Ohio to Canada than I was in Wisconsin, which is pretty crazy to me. But I don't know. I don't know what city.
Okay, because now I'm going to transition because it's I'm a big Bills guy. That's just what it is. And you hear about it's too cold in Buffalo. First and foremost, it's damn cold in Wisconsin.
Yeah, so no doubt. Yep.
You would have no problems having to come out to Buffalo, would you?
No, not at all. And it's interesting because, I've kind of been through it all. So we play the University of Buffalo at Bowling Green. So went there, experienced that. I was at Green Bay, my whole life up until college, and then I was in Miami too. So I've really seen a whole spectrum of rain, snow, heat, and that's something I'm trying to tell scouts is I can play wherever. And National Football League, especially come down the road, you're going to have to be able to do that. And so, yeah, it's something I'm definitely comfortable with.
Excellent. That's a good answer because I don't want to hear no crap. It's too cool. None
no
of
doubt,
that.
Man.
You
Not
come
me.
to Buffalo as blue collar, is
Yes,
get your ass in gear, let's go. So
use it as an advantage, right?
You
teams
damn
aren't
right.
used to that.
So there's some prospects that are out there, okay? And as a competitor, you're looking at yourself and you're comparing yourself to the quarterbacks because that is natural. So when you hear the Jordan Loves, and I have some things that I've written down, the Tuas, the Burrows, the Herberts, the Hurts, right? You hear for guys like Love, thrilling and erratic at times, right? Tua is left-hander, very athletic, and is dynamic, right? Herbert is got a strong little presence about him. So when you hear these things about these quarterbacks, what are two things that teams need to know about you? Two things.
Sure. I mean, I think in terms of trait-wise, hard worker and a leader. In terms of on the field, savvy, smart with decision-making and arm strength. And, I really think I can bring a lot to the table with the team. And I don't get too caught up in, checking out the other guys. I got a chance to meet with a lot of them at the Combine, and it's great guys. Excited to see what happens with them. But for me, I'm just focused on all I can control, and that's myself. So that's where my focus is at.
Good answer. You've been part of these interviews before. I see you polished, boy.
Yeah, I've had one or two. That's right. Yes, sir.
So, you've had some Zoom FaceTimes and so on and so forth. What are some weird questions that you're getting?
Yeah, so it's interesting because the Combine was really the one where I was prepped for some weird questions. I've been looking up some different ones, but the weirdest one that I got, and I just said a Coors Light. And really, that's the weirdest I got. I was almost like kind of disappointed a little bit. I was like, man, I was ready to get asked like some crazy train going off a mountain, where you sitting type of thing, but it never really came up.
So you broke up a little bit because right when you got to the good part, you broke up. Yeah. So you got to repeat that last part.
No worries. I got asked my favorite alcoholic beverage, and I said Coors Light, and that was it. I mean, I didn't get asked anything weirder than that, and I was kind of ready for some other stuff, but I never got asked it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you something about because since we're on a Bills platform, I'm going to ask you your knowledge of the Bills. So what have you known growing up following or paying attention to the Bills? What have you known?
Yeah, I've obviously known of them. I had like little helmets of every single team, and I know I had the Bills one, and I'm trying to remember other things I knew. I worked with a guy who was associated, Scotty Smith, used to be associated with House of Speed, which was Don Beebe, and I know of him, and I kind of knew a little bit of, like the Jim Kelly, Don Beebe, Super Bowl run a while back.
Okay.
But other than that, not too much. I don't want to, put myself on a spot and say something that I might be wrong.
Which is fine. And now, what I'm gonna translate to, what currently do you know about the Bills right now? Because the Bills aren't what they used to be. So what do you know about the Bills right now?
Well, I mean, you look at, the moves in offseason, what they've been doing, free agency with Stephon Diggs. I mean, that's going to be a potent offense, man, that's for sure, and definitely on the rise. And, I mean, you look at that division, and obviously with the absence of Brady, the Bills are going to be certainly contenders to win that title. So, no, I think they got some really good things going on, and to join that organization would be absolutely phenomenal.
Look at you paying attention to what the Bills are doing. Okay, I got you, man. So, and before I let you go, I do want to give you an opportunity. So if fans don't know too much about James Morgan, so I want to shed a light on James Morgan. I mean, these are what these platforms are for, right? To get people out there exposure. So what is one game that fans should say, James, they type into YouTube, James Morgan verse, and that's the game that they should see, and that will show all your talents. What game is that?
So for me, it would be we played Louisiana Tech last year, and that was my best game. But I would also recommend we played Miami, and we actually won that one last year, and that was a great win for the organization, for the school. So I'd say probably one of those two.
Look at you putting Miami in there. There's going to be a lot of people that are not happy with that. You try to beat their team because there's some people
they had a great team, man. It was an awesome win for us. I mean, there's some great athletes that come out of Miami. There for sure is.
That is amazing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we are tuned in with my guy, James Morgan, former quarterback of FIU. Now, you did have a rivalry. Your FIU had a rivalry against Florida Atlantic. Mm-hmm. And there was a running back on that team by the name of Devin Singletary. Are you familiar with that name?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, he it would have been my redshirt junior year. He was fantastic. And, you watch the film of all the opponents throughout the year, so you get to see, like, different offenses. And every time he was on, he was making a play, man, juking somebody out and all this stuff. So, yes, I am.
Okay, so now we have Devin Singletary on the team, and he's going to break out. Could you imagine handing the ball off to Mr. Devin Singletary? I want you to picture that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. That would not be too bad.
That would get used to that. So now before I let you go, I want to know, what scheme does James Morgan feel like that is going to let him expose give all his talents? What scheme is best works for you? What would be the best one?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm really excited about any NFL scheme. I've talked like West Coast number system, a bunch of different things. In college, I was exposed to, 2 different variants of a spread air raid offense with like Baylor's system with Coach Beverage, and then with Texas Tech, and then a much more of a pro-style offense at FIU. So I've had to learn 3 different systems. I feel very confident doing that, and I think there's positives to all of them. Air raid, you can show off your arm. Pro-style is a lot more like cerebral and trying to think through reads and stuff like that. And that appealed to me, but honestly, man, whatever. We did a couple at the Combine, a couple plays. A lot of teams would break them down, and just got me really excited, man. I can't wait to get into an offense like that with all those wrinkles and being able to do a lot of different things with that.
Nicely done. So I'm gonna have to probably get a hold of Ken Dorsey and try to nudge, wink, wink, and maybe try to get you to Buffalo. So I can't let you go without asking you this question, because this is going to put you in a light to Bills fans all over Buffalo.
Sure.
Do you like wings, sir?
Oh, of course.
You do. Do you dip your wings in anything, or are you just a straight, I just eat them just like that?
Yeah, man, I've been trying different stuff now. I think I got to go to Buffalo. Got to try some different everything, man. You got to get the city, you got to see everything, and that's definitely one of the first stops, diet permitting, that I'm going to be going to.
So ranch, blue cheese, or other?
I'm more of a ranch. Yeah, definitely a ranch.
Okay, so some people have already they've already put you in a compartment now. They're like, oh, he's a ranch guy, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my guy, James Morgan. James, before I let you go, what last bit would you like to tell NFL teams, fans of any team, or Buffalo Bills fans in general, and give whatever the platform is yours? What would you like to share with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the biggest things I want people to know is that I'm a guy who's going to put his all into helping an organization. See me? Help an organization win games. Got me? Whatever capacity I can do that with. So whatever role that may be in, my goal is to make a team, and I can really contribute. I mean, I can do everything in my power to, help the offense succeed. And I want that for everybody, for Bills fans, for any organization that takes a chance on me. It's a decision they're not going to regret, certainly, and I'm going to really help them win games.
And you know what? Something just came to me right now, because as you're talking, you grew up in the Wisconsin area. Mm-hmm. You modeled your game after a quarterback or two. Who was the quarterback that you modeled your game after?
So I always say that I kind of did a little bit of both. Obviously, the Packers have had some pretty good quarterbacks the last couple of years, long time. So Brett Favre was like my hero growing up, and then obviously Rodgers took over probably when I was in high school. And I take kind of the fearlessness from Favre, where I really feel like I can make any throw in the field and I'm not afraid to do so. But then at the same time, you got to take, Rodgers can do that as well, and sometimes he takes check down. So you got to kind of take the smart play of his game with kind of some of the recklessness of Favre, and that's kind of what I try to be for sure.
And this was mine, and I wanted to say, have you ever been compared to Super Bowl winner Joe Flacco?
Yeah, I've heard that a couple times, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Because that, to me, when I watch your game, I'm like, this guy's like a mini Joe Flacco. What's going on? Okay. Big arm.
Small school guy, yep, totally.
Small school guy, man. Listen, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is James Morgan with the Buffalo Fanatics, prospect going into the 2020 season. We look forward to potentially seeing you in Buffalo. If not, good luck with everything. Stay safe out there. And ladies and gentlemen, James Captain Morgan. Man, stay safe, man. It's nice to meet you. And hopefully we'll talk soon, man.
Appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
All right. Man. Have a good one, man. Take care.